G'day guys, Tom here from Different Drop with a very special guest today, making a rare appearance on camera. It's my DD co-founder, my partner in crime, Brett Catelby. G'day mate, how are you?
G'day, thanks for having me in your domain.
Poor old Wade's got a concoction of COVID and influenza and just about every other disease imaginable.
Yeah, I don't want to be anywhere near him.
So we've banished Wade to the warehouse. No, he's at home resting. But mate, very special one today. We are doing the release of the brand new vintage of the Rieslingfreak 2023 vintage from John and Belinda Hughes there in the Clare Valley. We love the Freak and the Freakette. We're going to go through, we're going to look at all 6 of the brand new wines today, have a quick whip through those. But mate, I know you're a big fan of Rieslingfreak, which is why it made sense to get you in on this video as well. Can you tell us a little bit about what you love about the Freak?
I like that it's a serious brand and serious Riesling. They have a nice occasion, but for me it's also just really approachable. It's approachably priced, and also the wines are always approachable. You know how sometimes Rieslings, you buy them and they can. Someone's like, oh, you can drink it in 10 years. I don't want to drink it in 10 years. I want to drink it now. And all of these wines usually, we haven't tried them yet, but every year I'm like, that's amazing. I want that now. Yeah,
absolutely. So consistent. And yeah, as Brett said, this is our very, very first look at these 2023s. I'm super excited. So we're going to, if you don't know the Rieslingfreak story, John Hughes, he is the freak of Riesling. Like, he grew up on a Riesling vineyard, his parents' vineyard, and he makes only Riesling. And he makes probably about 12 or 13 different types of Rieslings every year, with the help of Belinda now as well. Amazing winemakers. They don't make any red wines, they don't make anything else. They're just an old school. Riesling is their jam, and that's what they do, and they do it better than anyone.
How good's that focus?
I love it. I know, it's impressive. I'd like to see more of it in Australia, but then I guess if I put myself in that situation, I'd probably like to drink a red every now and then too. John, we can help you out if you need some reds. And the way they do it is they name them all, number 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're just going to look at them literally in number order. I don't know if it's quite the best order to do these, but it's just going to make sense. That probably looks nice on camera, having them all in order there. So the first one that we're looking at is the number 2. Number 2 comes from the Clare Valley. Comes from a small vineyard in Polish Hill River that John has worked with for several years now. I think it's about 15 years old, the vineyard. And compared to his site, it's a slightly more southern site, a little bit more rainfall, as I understand, and a bit cooler. So you tend to get, it tends to be a more austere sort of style. So anyway, we'll see.
We're going to need a spittoon.
Yeah, got you one. Look at that. Here's one I prepared earlier. So 2023 was a lovely, mild winter in 2022 leading into the vintage. But then spring was literally the wettest spring they had on record in 2023. It was something like 300% the usual rainfall over spring. I don't know if you remember, for anyone in Victoria or South Australia, spring 2022, it just rained the whole time. And so what that does is it slows down bud burst and everything else in vintage, and keeps heaps of soil in the ground, followed by also a pretty cool summer as well. So John was saying that they picked the vineyard, the Clare Valley site, 4 weeks later than the 2022s.
Right.
And 2022 was actually a pretty cool and mild year as well.
Isn't that hang time meant to be good?
Well, yeah, that's the theory. I mean, that's probably just John dressing it up to make the wines sound better than they are. But no, I'm just joking. The extra time, so they had extra time on the vine to develop flavour, but in theory should still hold really great acidity as well. So he described it as a vintage of purity and aromatics.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, this looks quite pure and aromatic.
For me, like that, this is why I like Rieslingfreak. It's bone dry. It's really, it's a serious Riesling, but it's delicious. I want more.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't scare you off.
Really, really quite delicate, pretty aromas. Like, you get the kind of lemon, lime, Clare Valley Riesling thing, but there's like some kind of floral notes, kind of jasmine kind of characters there as well. Very pretty, elegant sort of style, I think.
Yeah, I'll totally buy that.
All right, cool. Number 2, good start. So number 3 comes off John's, his vineyard, his family site, that they've been farming there for a long time.
How far is the Eden from the Clare Valley? I don't even know that.
So a fair way.
Right.
So the Eden Valley is just next to the Barossa, and the Clare is like another good hour further north. So not that close. We haven't got to Eden yet. These are both Clare.
Right.
These two, but they're different sites within Clare. So I think these are about 10k apart.
Right. Okay.
So still fair distance. And his vineyard is further north and a bit warmer. And this wine, as for his kind of entry level Rieslings, has always been the richer, more sort of flavoursome. And I see like just more. It's just got a bit more aroma there, a bit more kind of riper sort of fruit. I like that we're tasting these a little bit later this year. John, he can't wait to get these wines into bottle and out into trade. And sometimes when they're just released, they've only been in bottle for like a month or two, around June or May. These have had a little bit more time now, nearly in August, just to settle down. I think it's a lovely time to drink them.
Yeah, that one is a bit more generous.
Definitely, isn't it? It's just riper. It's more into this kind of like tropical fruit, guava, pear, a little bit of mandarin kind of character. But the acidity is like still zippy as, isn't it? Oh, yum. It's going to sound a bit weird, but like it's like friendly acidity.
Yeah.
Like, some of those like young Clare Valley Rieslings that's like rip you.
Yeah, that's what I meant earlier.
Teeth off. Yeah. Whereas that's it's natural acid. It's very nicely integrated. Mind you, we're about to go to Eden Valley now. So your point before, Brett, Eden Valley tends to be, so it's further south, so cooler than Clare. Well, it's a bit tricky because Clare gets really cold nights, but in general, the Eden Valley Rieslings tend to be a little bit more austere.
Yep.
And high acid, like.
Right.
For me, sometimes they're tougher work as younger wines. I like that Clare has a bit more generosity. And,
okay.
But super popular, as you know.
But yeah, the number 4 is like the main.
Well, I think 3 is the kind of, I don't know, John, you confuse us. I think 3 is the kind of, it's the Clare Valley Riesling from his vineyard. So I think that's meant to be the main one. But 4 is incredibly popular.
Yeah, you see number 4 on a lot of restaurant lists. And
yeah. And then it kind of varies vintage to vintage sometimes, depending on, which wine James Halliday gives 90 million points to. Definitely more restrained aromatically.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not as fruity as the number 3.
It's kind of like Eden Valley 101.
Yeah.
But more acid, definitely more acid. And you can make a case that maybe that one's going to age a little bit longer or differently to the 3, which right now is just jumping.
I would probably normally buy the 4 on reputation, but I think I like the Clare Valleys more this time around.
Yeah, I'm with you. Just to drink right now.
Yeah.
Like literally right now. 3 has just got all that generosity of fruit. 4, more mineral, a little bit more kind of chalky.
Yeah.
Needs a bit of time, but so well put together. Number 5, this is a bit of a favourite of yours, I believe, mate.
It is, yeah. Because I like off-dry Riesling that's not too off-dry.
Yeah.
And this is...
Off-dry.
Yeah, I don't know how you describe it, but he makes it... There's just not that many of them.
No.
Like at a reasonable price point.
Yeah.
Consistent every year. I'm just like, that's an amazing one.
I agree. Yeah, it's not a category I think that in Australia we do particularly well. We don't have the same kind of climate and terroir they have in Moselle to make these wines in Germany. But this John nails it. I mean, it's only about 12 or 13 grams residual sugar. Well, so when you think of sweet, it's...
Last year when it sold out, I tried to find another wine like it and I just couldn't find one.
Yeah.
Like, it's an awesome wine.
Totally agree. So, what's the alcohol here compared to that? Where's the alcohol, John? You following the rules? 10.5, and then... So cool. So this comes from his Clare Valley site. So the Clare Valley Riesling at 12%, which when you consider a very cool vintage, is actually like, not a high alcohol obviously, but like reasonable, which you see in that flavour.
Sure.
This is the same fruit, same site at 10.5%.
Right. So he's picked that earlier.
He's picked it a bit earlier, and he's just cut off the fermentation there a bit earlier, which retains a bit of sugar that hasn't yet been converted into alcohol.
Okay.
Yep. So you get a lower alcohol wine with a little bit more sugar. But yeah, probably picked a bit earlier to keep the acidity. Otherwise, they can get a little bit sort of flabby. I'm assuming that's how he's done it. I just made that up.
I'm not spitting that. That's great.
Such a good option for food as well. The off dry, like when you think about like spicy Asian food.
Yeah. I think everyone should drink more of that style.
Breakfast food.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Isn't it just global? That's the by the pool wine.
Absolutely.
And again, like that cooler vintage, it's very fresh. It's just like eating into, again, it's eating into like a freshly picked fruit of some description. Just like picked off the tree, and it's just like bursting with flavour.
Yeah.
It's like those like TV ads you see for like some sort of lolly or something. You bite into it, it just goes. It's like that.
Yeah, totally.
That's probably a shit description. Delicious, John. Oh, how good is that? Number 5. All right, number 10. So this is the Zenit. This was actually done. I don't know if you know this story, but this was actually done for the first time in 2017, just as a one-off wine for John and Belinda's wedding, where they said we want to blend together the very best parcels of fruit from across the whole vintage. And it was an amazing vintage 17 to make like the Uber Riesling for Rieslingfreak, make the best wine they can possibly make. Sure. So it comes from Eden Valley fruit, from Clare Valley fruit, God knows what else. And it's just released in really good vintages. And it was very popular. They just sold it. They just gave it to family and friends. They sent us a magnum of the 17.
Yeah,
I don't know if you recall. Yeah. But they've kept making it, which is awesome news. And here it is, the 23. So I'm pretty sure this is 50-50 blend of Eden Valley, Clare Valley fruit.
Right.
It's kind of alluring. It's like a deeper kind of nose. I feel like there's like you kind of got to go looking for it a little bit, but there's lots going on. Really interesting. Wade and I tried the Helm Rieslings a couple of weeks ago. The new 23 releases from Canberra, another amazing Riesling producer, and they are just like so much acid. It's so wound up and mineral, and these it's just so different. It's so cool to taste the different region in these wines. These are like approachable and generous.
Absolutely, yeah. I wouldn't feel like you have to hold any of these back, really.
No, even that. No. That will probably outlive us. But it's not made to outlive us.
It's got really, really nice I don't know what you call it, minerality on the side of the tongue. It's nice.
Yeah,
very Moorish.
Very Moorish. Length, like it's not like obviously it's not like it's a bigger wine than the other wines. I don't think. But length of flavour just kind of keeps going, and I just think there's extra little like accents and extra things going on the palate there, which is really cool.
Absolutely.
Awesome one. All right, last one in the lineup, numero 11. Now 11 was done for the first time last year, and it's a small batch little wine that John and Belinda made. And so John gave me a call one day because we've been hassling John like, hey mate, we need like our own Rieslingfreak wine. And he called me up and he said, I think I've got something that's perfect for you guys. And he said, we've got this, I've made this kind of oak aged, like barrel aged Riesling, like wild ferment, a little bit of skin contact. And it's a bit different, a bit quirky. And John's quite straight up and down fella. Like these wines are pretty clean cut. There's not a hair out of place. And he's like, Belinda really likes this, and I don't know what to do with it. We're going to sell it. We're going to offer it to our members, but there's not that much of it. It's only like a barrel or two. Can we do a different drop? Do you guys just want to have it on your own? I went, heck yes, we want it on our own. That sounds like perfect wine for DD. We love those sort of slightly more textural styles of Riesling. And it was really popular. You guys loved it, cleaned us out. And this is the follow-up. So second vintage of Mosaic, it's called. So it's wild ferment, whereas most Riesling Clare Valley is inoculated, like inoculated yeast. This is wild yeast, a little bit of skin contact, but not super skinsy, and spends a year in no, it is a year, isn't it? It's 2022. Spends a year in barrel in old French oak on its lees, so to build richness and texture to go along with obviously the purity of fruit that you get from the Clare.
That's lovely. It's really nice. I'll let you try it first, but
it's just subtle, isn't it? Because I think sometimes you think of like these skin contact Rieslings, and we see a lot of them come through the door that are like pretty overt.
yeah,
And over the top. And like, I kind of like it as like an intellectual exercise, but like,
one glass in, you're like, I wish I'd got a normal one.
yeah. Whereas that is like, I mean, probably to John, he's just like, oh, this is pretty wild stuff, man.
Yeah.
This is like, you know, but really,
No,
like,
that's delicious.
you could probably even ramp it up a bit more, John, because that is, it's balanced.
I feel like it's a bit more ramped up than the year before.
Maybe. Well, probably 21 was really cool and fine. The 22s in general had a bit more oomph across the board.
That's yum.
It's delicious, and it's just got that kind of slight creaminess to it, and a little bit more kind of complexity in the palate, but still just screams like Rieslingfreak. It's just purity, jumps out the glass.
Yeah, but it's definitely its own wine. Like all of these are fairly similar, apart from the 5. But that is quite distinct from the rest of them.
Yeah, I agree. Awesome. So, guys, 2023, we can happily confirm another outstanding vintage for John and Belinda at Rieslingfreak. I know they're really excited, but what winemaker isn't excited about their new release? But no, seriously, great vintage. Definitely a vintage of, as John said, of purity and aromatics is what you see in these wines. They're just lovely to drink right now. A lot of joy immediately with these wines. Like they'll sell, but they're ready to go right now. You know, the Eden Valley, you know, is the one that you could say, hey, I'd love to see that in a few months. But really, they're all delicious. So we're going to offer them all in a bit of a mixed pack, as we always do, which will be outstanding value. The value we didn't even mention. I mean, these are probably some of the best value wines that we sell. And our People's Choice Producer of the Year.
Every year.
Every year, pretty much. Yeah, definitely. So, awesome, mate. Thank you for joining us there. We'll divvy these up.
Absolutely. Yep, I'm taking the number 5.
All right, number 5. And I'll have all the rest. All right. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Yeah.